G'day, fellow travellers. It's Stephen here again from Greybeard Travel, and I thought I'd talk today about is Priority Pass worth it? Um, and what prompted this was I was recently in Bangkok, and I had to check out of my hotel in Bangkok by noon, and my flight left around 6 o'clock. So I had 6 hours in the airport, maybe more. It was quite a long time, I recall that. And I didn't want to just, I wanted a place to sit. I didn't have, although I had upgraded my flight to a business class flight with points, it didn't actually allow me access to an airport. So, in fact, I was even wondering if I actually had the business class ticket, but I did, and I did get a business class flight, but I couldn't get into the relevant lounge, which in the case of that particular Bangkok airport, I think was Cathay Pacific, and I did walk past that Cathay Pacific lounge, and it really looked so beautiful, but I couldn't get into it. So I decided to find another alternative. So in Bangkok Airport, they had two other private lounges called Miracle and also called Coral, and they had quite a few different options actually. But I eventually picked upon one, and then I saw a sign and it said that they took Priority Pass, and I have had Priority Pass in the past, so I thought, oh, this will be good. I'll just join Priority Pass, and I'll pay just the Priority Pass fee, and I'll be in. But it didn't actually work out the way I wanted to. So what I did was I paid for the standard membership, which was US $99, and I only had my puny Australian dollars. It's quite a bit of money in Australian dollars, and thought that would get me into the lounge. But in fact, that wasn't enough. I also needed to pay them another 35 US dollars to get into lounge with the standard membership. So I'm going to put the different membership fees up on the screen here for you, but basically you can pay more than that. You can pay 300 something US dollars or 400 something US dollars for different versions of the Priority Pass, and therefore you get more. Basically, I think you enter free in an unlimited way, essentially, if you pay more. And that was a bad deal for me because I worked out later on that I could have just paid, say, say 30 US dollars roughly, and gone in there. Now, that fee was for 2 to 3 hours, and it was a bit cheeky actually because I actually did sit there much longer, but nobody followed me up about how long I'd been there. I don't think they were that concerned about chasing people up like that, but theoretically it was only 2 to 3 hours. There was plenty of room in the lounge. I did put up a video, not a video, a short of me touring around Miracle Lounge, and you might like to have a look at that. We'll put a link to that, I think, maybe at the end if we can put shorts links. I hope we can. Yeah, so if you want, if you're interested, or just have a look at my little tour of the lounge. I would say that the lounge itself. I think the advantages of getting a lounge, just generally, particularly when you're in a busy foreign airport like Bangkok International Airport. I won't attempt to pronounce the official name of it. Suspect. Is you can avoid the crowds. You've got quiet space. You've got access to free food and drink. You can get Wi-Fi there, which I took advantage of, and also you can charge your phones, which I also took full advantage of. So it was a good place to be. Now, it was not the same as being in the airport lounge. In this case, I think it was Cathay Pacific. I was flying with Qantas that day, and the standard was not the same. You can't really compare it. And I really was a victim of my ignorance because it turned out that it would not have been good for me. Now, when I got back from my trip, I actually also learned that I had a free option on my credit card, which I also did a video about. And that was my American Express Velocity card. Gives me domestic access to Virgin Velocity lounges throughout Australia. So, and that actually worked. I used that recently. But you have to know about it. You have to contact them to to get it going. So it kind of makes it not worth it for me, even though there's just in Adelaide Airport, my domestic airport, they've actually reopened quite an okay priority lounge in Adelaide. So it might have been worth it. And it still might be worth it if I'm not flying, I guess, with Virgin. So actually, that's food for thought. It's got me thinking a bit more now. So maybe I can make it worth, but I still have to pay $35 to enter, which is, I guess, it's getting, I guess, close to $50 Australian. Not very good at doing these exchange rates these days, but yeah, it's a fair bit of money just to uh, sit in a lounge. But if I'm there long enough, it might well be worth it. I guess the bottom line is, you end up paying for these things. So look, I think for the majority of people, it may not be worth paying for the Priority Pass membership, but for some people, it will be. So if you're so yeah, you do have to remember there's an annual fee, and we posted that for you. Now, if you're flying regularly and you're going to use the lounge regularly, well, perhaps it would be worth it, particularly if you were paying like if you were flying every week, for example, and you didn't want to be committed to one particular lounge network. Then I think it could be really quite handy for you because particularly you pay the annual fee. Um, but if you had airline status of any sort with both domestic airlines in your country, particularly in Australia, so if you were able to get into the lounge with the airline you were flying with, well then you wouldn't bother. Um, but as I say, I've got access through my particular credit card to Velocity in any event. But I guess if I'm flying Qantas or another airline, then it might still be worth it for me. I can still take advantage of it. But yeah, I think lounges are, particularly when you're traveling internationally, really really useful. The other thing, you can also go to various cafes and things inside the um, inside the airport, and you can get certain deals with the Priority Pass. But yeah, I think for a lot of people, I think really you just, particularly if you're flying domestically in Australia, I would say it's probably not worth it. You're probably better off just go and buy a coffee yourself with your own money. But if you're traveling a lot and you don't have access to the other lounges, well, yes, it might well be worth it. Um, and if you're a regular flyer, I think yes, it might be worth it. So yeah, so that's Priority Pass. I sort of learnt a bit and made a mistake, as you often do in life. You learn through making mistakes. I'm going to put up two links here. One to somewhere up here, I hope. So one's going to be to my tour of the Miracle Lounge in Bangkok, if you want to have a look at what it looks like. And I hope to have some video of it in this video as well. And also, I'm going to put a link to my video about accessing Velocity lounges using your American Express Platinum cards. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Do you think Priority Pass is worth it? I'd love to hear from you whether you think it's not worth it or whether you think it's the best thing since sliced bread. I think it really comes down to how often you fly, and also if you're not aligned with someone. But if you're flying a lot, you probably do have some kind of airline membership, and therefore don't really need it. So it's a bit of a catch-22. But it's another useful option for you. Let me know. And if I don't see you before, Merry Christmas.